Then again, you were doing the judge before, weren't you?
Yeah, but I don't have to.
Alright, let me load in and see what's up. So we got the judge, Edgy, Phoenix. Oh, actually, I guess Emma's gone. Ben could probably do Marshall if you want to keep doing the judge.
Emma's still around, but I could do Marshall again.
She ran off, remember?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah, she ran off in a panic.
No!
I forgot my tractor!
Okay, I'm just gonna grab it. Okay, bye!
Yeah.
Hercule!
I don't know if I can really do a southern accent, but I can try.
Oh,
Yeah.
how about you be the judge then? Because I have a much better southern accent. Cause I'm
Okay.
from there.
Go for it.
One second. One second.
The closest I get to a southern accent is I just talk really slow. Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, it's the slow drawl, yeah.
Okay, so I think we were trying to connect this back to him still. Oh yeah, he's claiming that his fingerprints should be in there anyway, and one of them just happened to line up with the bloodstain.
Oh yeah, what a wow.
So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Wasn't mad. It's no. Wait, is he like Louisiana? Like I don't remember Dennis's.
Cowboy Western.
I think Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, so not
Yeah.
like Southern, like Western.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he pretends to be from Texas. He's not, but he pretends to be.
Okay. Was it
Yeah.
not? It's no mystery. Wait, am I also a judge now? Okay, good.
Please explain.
My locker's covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened the murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance.
I think that's fucking bullshit.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are a million to one. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Wow.
The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated.
Unrelated.
They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. I am right.
He's right, although seemingly alike. They're totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
You're an idiot, Phoenix.
Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
How would he know that?
How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the report.
Oh, Dennis is here now. Welcome.
Yeah,
Right.
that's can keep you.
Okay.
There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. It's like the one we've been talking about this whole time, also.
However, real fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion.
I can't let him squirm out of this one. I've got to find
Not with
something.
that excuse, at least.
Something that decides to tie Officer Marshall to this crime.
I don't know, I'm very squirmy.
Like I said, Oh,
That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
Judge. Your Honor.
I mean what I said.
What did you say? I forgot.
That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
And one bloody coat. I mean, I
And I
see.
walk a lonely road, the only road that I've ever known. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it.
Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards.
Excuse me.
Exclamation point. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
You want to bet?
Yeah,
This
fuck
isn't getting
you,
us
Mr.
anywhere,
Wright.
Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, Paul?
Oh, he's testing me.
Yeah, right. Like, what the fuck?
What do you mean by that?
You want to tie me to this crime, is that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
What?
Yeah, that's an ableist term.
Places you can't see, Your Honor.
That's better.
Oh no. The camera's panning back and forth and the floor isn't shown. Someone was familiar with the camera's position. They could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Do it.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright. Or you might be the one, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Man, I wish I could read.
Yeah, that'd be nice, huh?
So,
Same.
Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show. Oh, okay.
Okay, it's happening. I already got this motherfucker. See, no shirt? Uh-huh. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, okay. Oh, still no shirt. Wow. It's like, I don't know. Something's weird, guys. Ah!
stab.
Stop. Dun.
Flag over the face as I stab.
Oh!
Oh,
Oopsie whoopsie.
okay.
You made a big fucky wucky, asshole.
Bring
it
Oh god, they're gonna make us watch the entire thing again, aren't they?
Bring your attention back to the security camera. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers.
They really aren't.
Could you sum it up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
This piece of shit counted. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
Oh god, no. Oh.
That locker with the white blah, blah, blah.
That locker with the white claw sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. As slowly as possible. He's gone.
And Megan's got worked.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, the white cloth, it's gone.
I mean, we could just go back to normal now.
What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Bravo.
Order, order.
Hold your horse. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened?
Bro.
That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
Wait a minute. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know.
He's actually dumb.
I thought he was about to be busted, and we were pretending he was from Texas, but he's actually a French transplant.
I had to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Yeah, just forget that French from earlier. Oh yeah, I'll call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it.
Bro.
Yep.
Fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. Lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
Can he drop the...
Yeah, sure. Godspeed.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
Hey, pal. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only get one word for you, partner. No!
My god, is he a JoJo character?
I think so. He really just got blown back.
Bro, I told you he's from Europe.
Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
Olay? Sorry.
What?
I was so confused.
Hey, please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can.
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide evidence in the evidence room. Well, there's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Oh, well then, let's hear it.
V's victim, right?
Yes.
I'd have to assume. It's not like Vince and this is Kyle.
Karen.
Or Karen. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
Nani?
Honey, there. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Oh,
Correct! Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir! Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
yes. He would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he, if he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It is called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence?
evidence.
He's circumstantial evidence. He's still denying it.
You are going to have to do better than that to break a detective.
Patrolman!
Unless you have a hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
Well, thanks for telling us what a win con is.
Also, I pronounced so many things incorrectly there. Even for a bad French accident.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard. But you don't see me complaining.
Wait, he said that yesterday.
Yeah, didn't they say this already?
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt
Is it his blood in there?
that Officer Marshall, dressed up as the victim,
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
You do? I think.
I can see fear in your eyes,
oh
partner.
my god.
Seems you are the one who could not take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. So obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Oh my god, he called him a scrub.
Yes, I did. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics.
Yeah, you know, standard operating procedure.
Bare necessity.
That's no bare
Bare
necessity. For me, that would be what Maya used to tell me.
Make shit up.
Phoenix, try thinking outside the box.
Out of the box.
Out of the box.
Yeah, Mia really did like that show. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise.
No, I remember nothing about it, but I remember liking it.
Or rather, that I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Yo, that is a pretty cool reframing. Wait, hold on. That was actually kind of dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of silly shit in this game, but that was actually kind of lit. I like that.
This is why we stand Phoenix. Okay,
Why do you think?
Am I being shonen in a... Is this just a shonen lawyer anime?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I've never played one before, so I've just always interacted with it from like the outside. So I've never actually like seen the way the game works. I just know like iconic scenes from it.
Yeah,
And now I'm realizing, yeah, this is just lawyer show.
yeah, I think it's described on the box as like intense courtroom drama.
That's awesome. All right, sick. I just became so much more enthralled by this. This
Let's
is
go. We got another boys.
great.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
Look at them double team Marshall.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
I feel like the reason isn't that unknown. The video. The fact that a white cloth was sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions.
Okay.
I don't have any evidence that this video is my only shot.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth.
But okay. I mean,
Okay. All right.
I think I know what we're
I
supposed
think
to
I
click
think there was a shot where he had blood on the coat. Like, watch this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on.
on. I do believe that's what it is.
2,
Because if someone saw him with like blood on his coat,
Ha
there it is.
ha! Ha ha! Asshole! For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yeah.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him.
Got my ID
However-
right here.
Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, but now.
You know what's really impressive? He got the entire coat off and in the locker and was out the room in one camera cycle.
You know what? Considering he's like constantly dressed as a Texan Ranger, he must be used to costume changes. Like he goes home and like slips into normal clothes immediately, so no one knows.
You think
I
he goes into
wanted
normal
to
clothes?
be in Cirque du Soleil,
It all makes sense.
but I am still on the waiting list to audition.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Are you my father? Looks like I underestimated you all. I hope you are happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm never happy.
2 years ago. If you were only half as persistent as you are today, we all would not have to be here now. Now would we? This is just, it's also, that's just not a construction in French. Like, that's
Yeah.
just not how they would word a sentence at all.
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Every last nitty-gritty detail. I want in-depth knowledge.
I am a little fat girl. Alright.
What?
All right, he said it, Your Honor. Take him away.
It seems that time has gone.
And
So
so
have
have Marshall's confession.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It had to be that day. I couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins.
My god, he's psychotic. He's laughing about it.
I knocked him out!
Laughing, talking about knocking out a man, and you're laughing.
I managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
Man!
I don't know, man. Meekin's bled a lot on that floor.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine.
So
Miraculously.
the supposed victim was really you.
There is one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor in the evidence room. If no one's murdered, then how could that be?
And so the facade breaks, and we realize he's not even French. He's just a maniac from New Jersey.
I knew it.
Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand, man.
On mine?
My
Your
guess
knife?
is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Hey, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're trying to pick this apart. Interesting.
You didn't really tell us anything.
Stole Officer Meekins.
You stole Officer Meekin? The whole thing?
So, this is still a problem.
I think that's later.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. This is something is wrong here. The blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
Were you blind? The victim. Shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker.
Actually, no. I didn't.
Why not?
You. How about when I opened the locker, the evidence was gone. It was already gone.
What? Where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. I have a feeling we wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. Okay, why do you have to do it? When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
the slime incident. The 9. SL9.
What?
What?
Is just aware.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It's going to completely end on the transferal day.
Yeah.
Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence.
Oh my god, he's back.
I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time.
Oh god, he's breaking.
No matter what the cost.
Constantly cycling through different accents.
Well, I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
I'm chewing on my fingers. That day was my last chance. That's why I had to do it. I had to.
I guess we gotta press him until he cracks. Let's keep going. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
Because this is not hair I'm shaving off my face. It's scabs from me compulsively using this knife. If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
Great Scott.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report.
I returned his ID card.
To his corpse?
I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot.
The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So, essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, the part now?
I mean, the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you would have been able to open that lock yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must open the locker before Officer Marshall. Yeah, I
I
mean,
was expecting Officer Mickens and knocked him out.
I feel like we don't have to press here, but I'm going to anyway.
I mean, we don't want to miss dialogue.
You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only plan on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I had to think a little more about his raise this year.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that
He
way.
was bleeding out on the floor, you maniac.
With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
It was bathed in his blood and I still use it for my face. I don't know what to say.
Can we talk about how they let this man walk into court with a knife?
So you knocked Officer Meekins out and...
And managed to escape.
Uh,
There wasn't any murder from the evidence.
I think... Yeah, we already pressed in the first two. The only one that we haven't pressed on is... this one. And at that point, we must defer to Dennis. So you did your research beforehand.
So, you said you're deferring to me here?
Oh, no, I meant, like, with the, I meant with the evidence, but, like, whatever you guys want to do.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, so the security tape is erased every 6 hours. If it all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins.
If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
Bleeding out on the floor.
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
Oh, well, okay, I guess this is happening. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country.
Oof.
Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
I don't think that's how court works.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
Your opponent's Vanguard loses 5k.
You wanna know why?
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is that he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dock case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
Yo, the judge is kind of brawling.
It really is.
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out,
I'm just surprised he remembered something.
but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Yeah, I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I have a feeling we went up here. Okay.
Can we not just show him the name and the...
Yeah, I think
victim?
that's what. I just wanted to press him to make sure it wasn't like if he wouldn't just say it himself. But I guess we're just doing this. All right.
I do know why, yeah.
Okay.
Hit him with it.
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
Show me the page it's on.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
It's the thirst quenchiest.
I have the SL9 incident right here, actually. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. You related to this man?
Neil Marshall.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL Nice case before I did.
That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was mon frère.
Oni-chan?
Oni-chan!
He He was investigating the murders with Demonka, the deputy chief of police.
There's that name again.
Look at him, he's great. He's immaculate.
Actually, I think he's the guy being covered by the text box.
The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to persecute the killer. Oh my god, he looks French.
He's super sinister.
Jean d'Arc.
Okay.
He followed me from France.
And by France, I mean Jersey.
Mon frère Fortoc. He was killed. That was their first time Doc left behind. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to public record.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark.
He was like
I
yellow.
knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
He was at least a yellow belt in karate. No one could take him on. And that's
He
it.
practiced Rex Kwon Do, actually. No one wants a spin kick from KL Boy Pants, I will tell you that.
Stop it.
And that's
Stop it.
it. Your reason for your insane actions.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Did he put his hat on in one frame?
Yeah, honestly, that was a frame perfect hat placement. Frame perfect.
Thank you.
Well, at least one thing's certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
More or less. That was the last day L9 could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day.
Oh, wait, Edgeworth?
Things
Oh
that happen
my
by
God.
chance never cease to amaze.
Yikes.
At exactly the same time as the murder in the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on in the police department.
Wait, Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
Nope, RNG. Nothing more than the randomness of the universe.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime,
Then Lana Sky fucking did it. Let's move on to Ace Attorney 2, baby.
Thank God.
means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Thank God. Let's get at it.
In turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Mia Fey, Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Yep.
Objection! No, Lana, stop it! Wait. A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examined the incident in the police department today.
But
So one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
oh, you are not helping.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it. Yep, nothing else there. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable.
Other than her superhuman speed, Edgeworth.
If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Oh,
What?
Listen, her name's Angel Allen. She's the fastest woman alive, okay?
I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. There's no room for anything up in my head.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you. I didn't need to waste my time with proving the alleged murder at the police department. Thanks for doing my job for me. Easiest paycheck of my life.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake! I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Whoops.
Oopsie.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Hold it.
Oh
What?
shit.
Hold it! Your Honor, wait!
Alright, Dennis, you're back on the judge.
Okay.
Wait, did she just throw Jake Marsh out of the way? Where did he go?
Emma! Why'd you throw Jake on the floor?
Who? You mean the scum on my heel? The defense has an objection! A, totally scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright,
That's what I meant.
are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense?
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for, a minute of your time.
Okay, the judge asking this question is super telling, because what's Phoenix gonna tell her? No, I've just been hanging out with this 14-year-old the past 2 days.
Please hear me out.
Well, okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to.
I don't wanna leave it at that. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
3 minutes.
That was Von Karma's number.
That's true.
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings? That guy from France?
Now that she mentions it, he was from France. And the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
That's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I, knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
Give me the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
In the shape of a handprint.
The fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and I looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No.
Huh? Huh?
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
The hell?
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Say that all out loud.
Yeah, I guess, right? In front of the whole court.
Well, no, you're right.
Remember, courtroom drama.
How did no one test the blood? I'd like to see whose blood it was.
Regarding the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
Yes.
It just appeared the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. There a problem with this?
The Blue Badger!
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. I'm useless. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be
Wait a minute.
Come you did it.
Useless.
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yeah, useless. Yes, Your Honor. Useless. If I've ever needed to concentrate, it's now.
Outside the
What
bar.
could be wrong with the handprint?
Wait, you called another young girl useless, Nick?
Maya, where are you? I object! This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The thing that seems to be clear is that you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
I'll show you grasping.
Ooh, tell me more.
Staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing. Maybe something hasn't been drawn on there.
Yes, something that when drawn will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let's pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. What happened to the last person who wasted my time?
With all of this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. Motherfucker.
Huh?
What?
Where'd you come?
What about that piece of plywood?
Ow! You guys see him shove me?
You shut up.
He bopped her out of the way and started drinking. The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Hider of evidence. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. Blue Badger is not here.
Oh.
So,
So watch what happens when we put him in.
Oh, that's right.
This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Crazy, huh? Well, Judge.
Judge.
What?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
what?
What?
So that means... Actually, I don't know. What does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Are you sure?
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Ah, when did you get there?
I've been here the whole time. What do you mean?
Emma. I mean Maya. I mean Emma.
Who?
Nothing.
Oh,
On that afternoon. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badgers to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in?
And nobody noticed it somehow.
just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how? I'll show
Hey,
you.
pal.
Hey, pal! One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Problem is, the other time. I will
want to
not
show you-
press fast forward, folks.
I won't just show you far-fetched evidence, I'll show you fur-fetched evidence.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been
Mia
Detective
Fey.
Goodman when he was really murdered. Or Mia Fey.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Oh, but you'll accept that. You know what? Never mind. No, actually, no, never mind. How could you accept that Angel Star could run at the speed of light? But you won't accept this? No! The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. However, it does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you that you show me the evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
Oh, I wonder what
Someone else went in on the sheet.
Box! To summarize, the defense claims that. What exactly do you claim?
I claim that prior to Officer Meekin's being dead.
This is still the judge. He's...
Oh, I see. Prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman,
Doing great, boss.
another incident took place in the evidence room.
That's right. Very good, Your Honor. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present the evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
What if Phoenix just went these nuts?
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
Like an ID card? Oh, the ID card record. I figured that out on my own.
Very good, Judge. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at...
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m.
So as you can clearly see, it was Edgeworth.
If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Oh. Oh! Miles Edgeworth, what have you done?
There was another number, guys.
I knew you had the nerve, boy.
I'm surrounded by idiots. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out how it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
I am afraid I also do not understand.
Again, unsurprised. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
Okay, I understand this is a critical moment, but I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Hold it in like a man.
Phoenix, come back.
Fine, Judge.
I'm declaring an immediate mistrial.
Fine. That means... Oh god, I really gotta go. The blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible unless you're Angel Star.
Yeah, Angel Star could have done it.
Angel Star could have absolutely done it.
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. Okay, this time for real, I got...
Unless you're Angel Star.
Why did he take the chart with him into the bathroom?
I don't know, maybe there's a crossword on the back? and Gordo fight. You know, it's real interesting where our standard clans have taken us. We've gone in some weird directions.
Whew, sorry for the brief recess, Your Honor. Let's look at the chart again.
Why did you take the chart with you into the restroom?
I needed it for reasons, but either way, there's only one other card number remaining. All these sevens.
Also, can we talk about how Edgeworth said 10 minutes wasn't enough time, but 20 minutes is definitely good enough
Yeah.
to do all that?
Talk about a lucky number.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. You went in with 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 7, 7.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look at this. ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm able to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son.
The number 77s belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who's a so-called executive officer. And have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright.
Ooh?
There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
An official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
How do you file an official charge against someone you don't know the identity of? Wait a minute.
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay.
Uh,
Let me ask a question.
yes.
No, not to you. To her. The defendant sitting over there.
Well, that was very misleading.
Your own little executive.
Right, she's just in the courtroom the entire time.
Wait,
Autumn.
why?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we looked up her ID number. And it's not 77s.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
No, DL6. Edgeworth!
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Points finger.
That's not what this trial's about. Who cares?
Yeah, what? We've jumped several trials at this point, right?
Yeah,
Do you need the
years
witness to
away.
repeat this question? Chief Prosecutor.
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for the trial. At the time, we...
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did.
What are you saying?
Oh my god.
Whoa, Lana, don't do it.
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. Before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Oh my god. Hello?
Also, that's not a prosecutor's job. They don't suppress crime. They deal with crime that's already happened.
Just what are you saying?
Excuse me?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Wait, you're the one who's supposed to gather the evidence. What do you mean?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Oh.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is.
Okay.
We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involved forging evidence.
Why are we even talking about this?
I'm still confused.
This is important.
It all comes back to me. See? That's what I'm talking about. I'm the protagonist.
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The trial. I had to wait until the following day.
God fucking, can we just skip? Can we, no, I don't need to see the end of this trial. This trial is kind of balls.
We're so close.
I get so very
a lot.
Really? Rise from the Ashes? Really?
Yeah. It's a DLC case that came out in the DS release of the first game. Or like it was a DS release of the trilogy or something, and they included it and they attached it to the first game. But it's its own game, basically.
Yeah, and it was written after the second and third games were written.
Like Emma's technically a character from Apollo Justice. There's a couple of like there's a couple little Easter eggs from the first 3 games that show up in here, but either way.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. My Glock holds 15 bullets.
26 people in the court stands.
60
I'm
people!
gonna do what I have to get him the verdict he deserves.
Let's start subtracting. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Darka killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Wow, crazy.
Do you not watch TV?
Lana wanted Darka convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what'd you have to do with those killings, Emma? I'm Joe.
Rips off her face. You ever seen Donnie Darko? Bitch? On the night Professor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Darka tried to kill, like, me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother Neil was only trying to save me.
So that means you
Yes, I'm the evidence. I was a witness in the Joe Darka trial.
I did not see that one coming.
Really? You did? That's crazy.
That's insane, bro.
It happened like 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Totally unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together when she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Oh, this is sounding familiar. Joe Dark.
Joe Darka. Oh, sorry, that was yours. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and, like, screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Marshall.
Joe Darka tried to take me hostage. But, like, before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then,
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can, like, totally see it now.
A permanent picture? What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred? Got a little onion head.
Darka knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
But then I saw the truth. They were both Neil Marshall.
I'm Neil Marshall.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I, like, passed out.
Wait, you passed out as he just rose the knife?
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. Been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
Oh. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable.
I'm a failure as a witness and as an artist.
Wait, I didn't realize you cared about the latter.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies. And find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick.
Or I'd forge it so good no one
You
could tell the
needed trauma?
difference.
What was that last part, Emma?
Oh, huh?
What?
Airtight case, right? Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm in your head now too! But there's still something that bothers me about that crime.
What is it?
Well, after the incident.
I don't remember the moment when Darka stabs Mr. Marshall.
Wait, so you weren't able to testify about that?
No. I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up. You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. And I was just eating away at their time. Lana forged the evidence, and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yeah, did you forget he was the prosecutor on the case?
Right.
I'm sure he didn't know anything about it, though. Even though he, like, did it himself later and before.
Updated autopsy report.
But he couldn't have known that evidence was false. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault.
No, I mean, he definitely still did it later.
If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
That's true. No, he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After the case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did. Especially not to Emma.
Here.
There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
Well, what is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor.
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Darka had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective's offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
Oh, everyone's just a fucking detective now, okay? I said, oh, the
Not
lunch lady-
everyone.
The lunch lady's
Lana.
a detective. The patrolman who thinks he's a sheriff's a detective. Your sister's a detective. I'm a detective.
Hey, me too. That's cool.
Never mind.
Why is it detective?
She was the best in the entire force.
Then why was she in law school for... Moving on. I've had my outburst. I think this is fine. That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Man, good thing she happened to go to law school, huh?
Lana used to be a detective. I
Maybe I
better
should-
have another talk with her. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere. Kind of.
Are we?
I have no fucking idea anymore. I'd even forgotten that little tidbit.
Man,
I think I blocked it out.
this game not over.
No.
Not even close, baby.
We will probably be stopping soon.
Well, Lana,
Mr. Wright, keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Seriously?
Yeah, you're
Criminal-
right there.
Being foul. Why should we?
but Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
I don't know, look at what I'm wearing. Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh.
About how you were detention 2 years ago. And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
No, seriously, look, I have medals on my chest. This isn't detective work. Like,
I'm pretty sure those are military medals.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs?
well, I was a general for 3 years. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
You know,
A lot of revelations were uncovered in the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I don't know how obsessive Officer Marshall could be.
Dr. Officer Marshall. But Des, you sound really far away.
I am
I am.
So far away for day.
That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believe that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth
He tried to kill
and
you.
nothing but the truth.
Couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What the witness, what that fucking superwoman said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
Like, if she just said things from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, don't worry.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gunn, right?
Yes, Deputy Chief Gaunt and I share the same office and the same investigations.
You could tell she was a detective back then because her scarf had a mind of its own.
Yeah, this is the Lisa scarf.
They even had the same office.
I mean, he's a villain, right?
I mean, look at him.
That's a villain. Like, that's...
His facial hair is solid rock. Of course.
the way he fucking blinks.
Yeah, we get like a 3-second pause every time.
Yeah, and he just blinks at you. That's a villain.
That crazy look he's got in his eye when he starts grabbing his collar. Yeah.
And his hair. Don't forget, he plays with his hair.
Yeah.
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Me. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite young.
And the last.
Wow.
Wow.
Without doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
He tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Darka.
See, the first person who happened once was me.
Now you tell us?
Ask. David Gaunt and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gaunt and Marshall let their guards down and fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Gaunt and himself.
That's where he found me.
So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gaunt and Marshall were questioning Dark.
Oh my god.
When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies? Prosecutor
Prosecutor
Marshall, the victim Emma who had passed out.
and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
Yo, he clocked his ass.
I guess I guess Sheriff Marshall wasn't really kidding when he said his brother would lose in a fight. Wait, what did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. Picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
He was amazing.
I conquered Siberia.
They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant.
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scene. Damon Gaunt. He was everything I aspired to.
Built like a JoJo's character.
Yeah.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister.
I did.
Criminal.
But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was
To gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court. Right?
Gaunt's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence, huh?
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident, just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to the extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely.
Yeah, he adopted this weird cowboy persona. I guess he wasn't
not a
convinced
picture, he
with
had
the
a hat
ruling
too.
against Joe Darka.
It's also apparently genetic because his brother wore a cowboy hat too.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet.
Gasp.
Oh my god. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Gaunt and I shared. The office that Mr. Gaunt now occupies by himself. The chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Ugh. I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like doing this investigation now, so I say we cut it off here.
I was ready to stop when the trial finished.
This
Oh,
will take quite a while.
where we are. We got another day in court.
No, I meant like our previous stint in the actual courtroom.
Oh yeah, we're out of here.